Max and Whiskers and the Mystery of the Mystic Pond. It was a peaceful morning at Max and Whiskers' cozy home by the edge of the forest. The sun glowed softly through the trees, and a gentle breeze carried the sweet scent of blooming flowers. Max, the big, golden retriever with fur like a sunbeam, lay on the porch, his eyes half closed. Whiskers, the sleek black kitten with her shimmering coat, was perched on the railing, watching the butterflies dance in the garden. Hazel the squirrel scampered down from the tree, her tiny paws carrying a note made of birch bark. "Max! Whiskers!" she called, her voice filled with excitement. "You're invited on a very special adventure." Whiskers leaped down gracefully, her green eyes curious. "What kind of adventure, Hazel?" Hazel's tail twitched as she handed over the note. "It's from Luna. She wants you to meet her at the Mystic Pond." Max's ears perked up as Whiskers read aloud. "Dear Max and Whiskers, I need your help with a mystery surrounding the Mystic Pond. Please meet me there at sunset. Yours, Luna." Max stood up, his tail wagging. "A mystery? We better go." As the sun began to dip in the sky, they set off with Hazel guiding them. Along the way, they were joined by Fiona, the clever fox, Tobias, the wise turtle, and Pip, the smallest rabbit of Rosie's family. "We heard about the pond," Pip squeaked. "We want to help too." The group made their way deep into the forest until they reached a clearing where the Mystic Pond lay. It was more beautiful than they had imagined. A young water sprite stood next to the pond. The pond glowed with soft, blue light, and the water shimmered like silver glass as a water sprite looked on. But there was something strange. Dark ripples disturbed the surface, and the glowing light seemed to flicker uncertainly. Luna stood by the water's edge, her silver antlers gleaming under the moonlight. "Thank you for coming," she said warmly, though her eyes looked worried. "Something is wrong with the pond. It is usually a place of peace and magic, but now its light is dimming." Max approached gently. "What can we do to help, Luna?" Luna sighed. "We must find out what is causing the disturbance. The pond's magic comes from a crystal hidden beneath its waters. If something is wrong with the crystal, we need to fix it. But it's guarded by the water sprites, and they only reveal themselves to those who prove their kindness and bravery." Whiskers' eyes sparkled with determination. "We'll do whatever it takes." Luna smiled. "Then listen carefully. The sprites will set 3 tasks. If you complete them, they will let you see the crystal." Suddenly, ripples glowed, and 3 tiny water sprites rose from the pond, their transparent wings shimmering like rainbows. The tallest sprite spoke in a voice like wind over water. "First task. You must bring us the rarest flower of the forest, the silver bloom, which only blossoms where the moonlight kisses the earth." "I know where to look," Fiona exclaimed, her sharp eyes gleaming. "Follow me." They set off quickly, running through moonlit paths. Fiona led them to a hidden grove where beams of moonlight touched the ground. And there, among ferns, bloomed a single silver bloom, its petals glowing with soft silver light. "Careful," Tobias warned as Whiskers approached. "It's delicate." Whiskers moved gently, using her soft paws to cradle the stem as Max stood by to protect her from the wind. Together, they carried the flower back to the pond. The sprites accepted it, bowing. "You have done well." The second sprite floated closer. "Second task. You must bring laughter back to the pond. Its magic fades because it has not heard joy in many moons." Hazel's eyes lit up. "We can make the pond laugh." She zipped around, doing flips and twirls. Pip hopped in circles, making funny faces, and Whiskers swatted playfully at Max's tail. Soon, everyone was giggling and chasing fireflies that danced over the water. Max splashed into the pond carefully, making gentle waves, and let Whiskers ride on his back as he paddled around. The water sprites began to giggle too, their laughter sounding like bells in the breeze. The pond glowed a little brighter. The last sprite, the smallest of the 3, came forward. "Final task. You must show us true friendship, the kind that is strong enough to heal." The friends looked at each other, and Max stepped forward. "Friendship means we help and care for each other, always. Like when Whiskers was stuck in a tree, I helped her down. And when I was feeling sad, she curled up beside me. We are never alone because we have each other." Whiskers purred softly. "We always share our adventures, and we always make sure everyone feels safe and happy." Fiona added, "Friendship is helping, even when it's hard." Tobias nodded. It's about wisdom, kindness, and loyalty. Pip and Hazel held paws and said together, and it's about never giving up on each other. The sprites glowed brightly, spinning in a circle. You have shown us true friendship. You may now see the heart of the pond. The water parted gently, and a smooth crystal, glowing softly, rose from beneath. But as they approached, they saw a crack in its center. The crystal is broken, Luna whispered sadly. Can we fix it? Max asked. The sprites nodded. If you give it a piece of your heart, of your friendship, it will heal. Max stepped forward and pressed his warm nose to the crystal. Whiskers touched it with her paw. One by one, their friends gathered close and added their love. A warm golden light filled the air, and the crack began to fade. Slowly, the crystal healed, shining brighter than before. The pond's glow returned, rippling with magic. You've done it, Luna said joyfully. You've saved the Mystic Pond. The water sprites danced happily. Your friendship has restored its magic. As the first rays of dawn touched the sky, the animals lay by the pond, tired but happy. Max rested his head on Whiskers' side. Another adventure, and we did it together. Whiskers purred, closing her eyes. Always together, the Mystic Pond shimmered peacefully, reflecting the rising sun, as a reminder that even the smallest act of kindness and love could heal the greatest wounds. The end. Max and Whiskers and the Lost Star. It was a clear night in the quiet forest, where Max, the gentle golden retriever with fur as soft as sunshine, lay curled up on the porch, and Whiskers, the sleek black kitten with moonlight fur, perched gracefully on the wooden rail beside him. The sky was full of stars, twinkling like diamonds scattered on dark velvet. Look, Max, Whiskers mewed, her twinkling green eyes wide with wonder. The stars are extra sparkly tonight. Max raised his big head, his floppy ears perking up. They are, Whiskers. It's like they're dancing. Just as Max finished speaking, a bright light streaked across the sky. It shimmered in every color: blue, purple, gold, and green, before it suddenly dipped down and vanished into the forest. Max, did you see that? Whiskers gasped. A falling star? Max stood up and gave a gentle wag of his tail. I did, but it didn't disappear in the sky like usual. It went into the woods. Do you think it's lost? Whiskers whispered. Max thought for a moment, then nodded. We should find it. Maybe it needs help. With excitement bubbling in their hearts, Max and Whiskers trotted off into the moonlit woods. Fireflies blinked around them, lighting their way. The forest was alive with gentle sounds, the rustle of leaves, the hoot of owls, and the soft babbling of the nearby creek. As they walked deeper, they met their friend Hazel the squirrel, who was gathering acorns. Where are you going so late? Hazel asked, twitching her tail curiously. We saw a star fall into the woods, Whiskers mewed excitedly. We're going to find it. Hazel's eyes widened. A star? Oh, I want to help too. And with that, Hazel scurried onto Max's back, and they continued their quest together. Further along, they encountered Professor Hootsworth, perched in an old oak tree, reading a book by the light of a glowworm lantern. Professor, Max called up. Did you see a falling star? Professor Hootsworth blinked his wise old eyes. Indeed I did. It landed somewhere near the Rainbow Glade. Be careful, my friends. Stars are magical things. Thank you, Whiskers purred. With Hazel guiding them through the high branches and Professor Hootsworth watching from above, they made their way to Rainbow Glade. The glade was bathed in soft colors as if lit by the last shimmer of sunset, even though night had fallen. In the center of the glade, nestled in the grass, was the star. But it wasn't like the stars in the sky. This one was small, glowing softly with a broken shimmer. It looked sad. Whiskers crept closer. Oh, poor star. Max lay down gently beside it, his warm fur like a golden blanket. Are you all right? He asked kindly. The star flickered and gave a faint whisper. I fell, and now I can't shine bright enough to get home. Hazel looked worried. How can we help you? The star glowed a little stronger, as if hope warmed it. I need starlight, the kind that comes from friendship and kindness. Max smiled. Well, you've come to the right place. Whiskers nodded firmly. We'll help you. The star seemed to brighten just a little, and Max gently nudged it with his nose. Let's take you where you can gather more starlight. With Hazel holding a leaf over the star like a tiny umbrella, and Whiskers walking close to keep it company, Max carried the star on his broad back. First, they went to visit the fireflies. Little lights of the forest, can you share your glow? Whiskers asked. The fireflies danced around the star, their soft golden lights mingling with its glow. The star shined a bit brighter. Thank you, Max barked kindly, and they continued on. Next, they stopped at the bubbling creek. The moon's reflections sparkled on the water. Whiskers dipped her paw in and watched the ripples. Dear Creek, can you share some moonlight? The water bubbled happily and sparkled more, sending beams of silver light onto the star. The star pulsed, its glow growing warmer. You're doing better already, Hazel cheered, but it still wasn't enough. The star whispered, I need one more light, the light of true kindness. Max thought deeply. Let's visit Luna, the guardian deer. She knows about moonlight magic. With careful steps, they made their way to the moonlit clearing where Luna stood, her antlers aglow with silver. Luna, Max said softly, we found a lost star. It needs help to return to the sky. Luna looked at them kindly and lowered her head to the star. You've all given it the light of friendship. Now, one last gift your wishes. Wish together for the star to rise. Max, Whiskers, Hazel, and even Luna closed their eyes and whispered, we wish for the star to shine and find its way home. As they wished, the star's glow grew so bright that the whole clearing shimmered. It rose off Max's back, floating higher and higher, leaving a trail of silver and gold sparkles. The star twinkled happily and whispered, thank you, dear friends. I will always watch over you from the sky. With that, it soared back up, joining the sea of stars above. Max, Whiskers, and Hazel watched in awe as the sky sparkled even brighter than before. Luna smiled. You've given a gift of kindness that will last forever. Max wagged his tail. I'm glad we could help, Whiskers purred, snuggling against Max's side. Now we have a star friend watching over us. As they made their way home, they noticed that a special star twinkled a little brighter, as if winking at them. When they reached the porch, Max lay down, and Whiskers curled up on his back. Hazel nestled into Max's fluffy fur. Good night, Max. Good night, Whiskers. Hazel yawned. Good night, Hazel. Good night, Star. Whiskers whispered as she drifted to sleep. And far above, the lost star twinkled brightly, a forever friend in the sky. The end. Max and Whiskers and the Secret of the Forest Festival. It was a bright, sunny morning at the cozy little house on the edge of the forest. Max, the big, gentle golden retriever with fur as soft as sunshine, lay on the porch, basking in the warm glow. Beside him, Whiskers, the sleek black kitten with green eyes that sparkled like emeralds, was stretched out lazily, grooming her soft, shimmery fur. Suddenly, Hazel the squirrel came darting down from the tree, her fluffy tail twitching with excitement. Max, Whiskers, come quickly. There's going to be a secret forest festival tonight. Whiskers' ears perked up. A forest festival? What's that, Hazel? Hazel bounced in place. It's a magical celebration the forest holds once every few years. Animals from every part of the forest come together to share stories, play games, and dance under the moonlight. But there's more this year. There's a secret treasure hidden for those who can solve the clues. Max tilted his head thoughtfully. That sounds wonderful. We've never been to a festival before. Then you must come, Hazel urged, and you'll need to meet some new friends to help you on this adventure. As the sun climbed higher, Max and Whiskers followed Hazel into the forest. Along the way, they met new animals who were also getting ready for the festival. First, they met a wise old turtle named Tobias, who wore tiny spectacles on his nose and carried a satchel full of ancient scrolls. Ah, you're going to the forest festival? You'll need wits to solve the treasure clues. I can help you learn to read the ancient forest symbols, Tobias said kindly. Next, they encountered a playful family of rabbits. Rosie, Remy, and little Pipe who were practicing their leaps and hops. We're entering the moonlight dance contest, Rosie giggled. You should join too, Pip added eagerly. Finally, they met a beautiful red fox named Fiona, who was known throughout the woods for her cleverness and speed. "If you're searching for treasure, you'll need sharp eyes and quick paws," Fiona said with a grin, her amber eyes twinkling. "I'll help you if you help me collect flowers for the festival." Max wagged his tail happily. "We'd love to help." So, together, they spent the afternoon gathering wildflowers and colorful leaves to decorate the festival grounds. Whiskers leapt gracefully to catch the prettiest blossoms, while Max carried bundles of flowers on his back. Hazel zipped around, tying everything together with strands of ivy. As the sun began to set and the sky turned shades of orange and pink, they reached the great forest clearing. It was breathtaking. Glowing lanterns hung from the trees, and fireflies floated like tiny stars. Animals of all kinds gathered: deer, birds, hedgehogs, raccoons, even a shy badger named Bartholomew. The festival began with music, as a band of frogs and crickets played cheerful tunes. Animals danced and laughed, and the air was filled with the scent of honey cakes and berry pies. But soon, a hush fell over the crowd, as Luna, the white guardian deer with glowing silver antlers, stepped into the center of the clearing. Her voice was soft but carried through the crowd. "Welcome, dear friends, to the Forest Festival. Tonight, as we celebrate, a secret treasure awaits those who can follow the clues hidden around the forest." A shimmering scroll floated down from the trees and landed before Luna. She read the first clue aloud. "To find the treasure you must be as clever as foxes and brave as bees. Seek the place where shadows dance, and listen well for the tree's romance." Whiskers' eyes widened. "Where shadows dance? What does that mean?" Fiona flicked her tail thoughtfully. "I think I know. There's a glade where the moonlight makes the shadows of leaves dance like little fairies." "Let's go!" Max barked eagerly, with Fiona leading the way. Max, Whiskers, Hazel, Tobias, and even little Pip followed through the woods. They reached the glade just as the moon rose high, and sure enough, the shadows of the trees swayed gently, as if in a quiet dance. Suddenly, Whiskers' sharp ears caught a sound, a soft rustling, almost like whispering voices. "Listen, the trees are whispering." Tobias adjusted his spectacles. "That's the trees romance their song to the moon." As they listened carefully, the whispers became clearer, and Tobias began to translate. "Seek the place where the river bends, where stones sing and light descends." "The river bend," Pip squeaked. "I know that place." With Pip leading the way, they hurried through the forest to where the river curved in a graceful arc. There, moonlight streamed down, and the water sparkled like silver. Max padded over to the edge of the river, where smooth stones lay half submerged. As he stepped closer, he could hear a faint melodic sound the stones were humming. The group gathered around as the stones sang. "To find the prize, seek now the tree, whose hollow hides what none can see. Guarded by one with feathered grace, who sees all corners of this place." "A hollow tree and a feathered guardian?" Hazel pondered. "Professor Hootsworth," Whiskers meowed. "He lives in the oldest hollow tree in the forest." With excitement, they raced back to Professor Hootsworth's tree. The wise owl was waiting for them, perched in the doorway of his home. "Ah, I see you followed the clues well," he said with a twinkle in his eyes. "Yes, I guard a secret. If you are ready, I shall give you the final piece." He fluttered down and used his beak to pull a hidden latch on the tree's side. A small door swung open, revealing a beautiful glowing crystal, surrounded by tiny lights that danced like stars. "This is the heart of the forest," Hootsworth explained. "A treasure of magic and light that keeps our woods full of life and wonder. It is shown only to those who prove their kindness, courage, and friendship." Max, Whiskers, and their friends gazed in awe. "You may carry it to the festival for all to see," Hootsworth added. Carefully, Max lifted the crystal in a soft bundle of moss, and they made their way back to the clearing, where the festival was in full swing. As they entered, carrying the glowing treasure, everyone turned to watch in amazement. Luna stepped forward, her silver eyes glowing. "You have found the heart of the forest and proven yourselves true friends to all." The animals cheered and danced around them, and for the rest of the night music filled the air, and everyone celebrated under the stars. As dawn's light crept over the trees, Max and Whiskers lay side by side, watching the sun rise. "This was our best adventure yet," Whiskers purred. Max rested his head on his paws, his golden fur gleaming. "And we made so many new friends." Hazel curled up nearby. I can't wait for the next adventure. And as the sun rose higher, the heart of the forest glowed warmly, a reminder that friendship and kindness were the greatest treasures of all. The end. It was a bright spring morning, and Max, the gentle golden retriever, was lying in a patch of sunlight on the porch, his fluffy fur glowing like soft sunshine. Whiskers, the sleek black kitten, stretched lazily beside him, her moonlit fur shimmering in the light. The air was filled with the sweet songs of birds and the soft rustling of new leaves. Max, Whiskers said, her green eyes twinkling, have you ever heard of Rainbow Falls? Max opened one eye. Rainbow Falls? What's that? Hazel the squirrel told me about it. She said it's a waterfall where the water glows with all the colors of the rainbow, Whiskers explained, sitting up with excitement. And if you make a wish under the rainbow, it might just come true. Max's ears perked up. That sounds wonderful, Whiskers. Maybe we should go find it. Whiskers leaped onto the porch railing. Yes, let's go on an adventure. And so, off they went, padding through the forest together. The trees swayed gently in the breeze, and little wildflowers nodded as they passed. They hadn't gone far when they heard a chattering voice above them. Hello, friends. Where are you off to today? It was Hazel, the squirrel, her fluffy tail flicking as she perched on a branch. We're going to find Rainbow Falls, Whiskers called up to her. Hazel's eyes lit up. Oh, it's a long way, but I can help guide you part of the way. Follow me. Hazel scampered from branch to branch, showing them a secret path lined with soft moss and bright flowers. As they walked, they reached a small stream, and there they met a playful fox named Finn, who was splashing in the water. Hi there, Finn greeted, shaking water from his fur. Where are you two headed? We're going to see Rainbow Falls, Max said, his tail wagging. Rainbow Falls? I've heard of that place. You'll need to cross the meadow to get there. But watch out, the wind gets very strong, Finn warned. Thank you, Finn, Whiskers purred. Will you come with us? Finn grinned. Sure, it'll be fun. So now, with Hazel and Finn leading the way, Max and Whiskers set out again. Soon, they reached a wide meadow filled with tall grass and colorful butterflies. The wind rushed across the grass, making waves like the sea. Stay close, Max called, as the wind whooshed around them. Whiskers crouched low, her eyes wide. It's so windy. Hazel hopped onto Max's back. I'll ride here until we're across. Finn dashed ahead, calling back, Follow my path. With Hazel on Max's back, Whiskers darting beside him, and Finn leading the way, they crossed the meadow safely, though the wind tugged at their fur and whiskers. On the other side of the meadow, they found a family of ducks swimming in a pond. The mother duck quacked a cheerful hello. Where are you travelers going? To Rainbow Falls? Max said, shaking the dust from his fur. Oh my, that's a long way. You'll need to go through Willow Grove, where the trees dance in the wind. But watch out for the brambles, said the mother duck. Thank you, Whiskers meowed. Come on, everyone, let's keep going. With new determination, the friends headed into Willow Grove. The willow trees swayed and danced, their long branches trailing like ribbons. As they walked, they had to dodge the brambles that crept along the ground. Careful, Max, Whiskers called as Max gently moved branches aside with his nose. Hazel scampered ahead. We're almost there. But suddenly, Whiskers yelped. Oh no, I'm stuck. Her paw was tangled in a thorny bramble. Max hurried to her side and carefully used his big teeth to pull the brambles away, freeing her. Thank you, Max. Max and Whiskers and the enchanted moonlight ball. It was a quiet evening at the edge of the forest, where Max, the gentle golden retriever with fur as soft as golden clouds, lay sprawled on the porch. Whiskers, his sleek black kitten friend with shimmering green eyes, sat beside him, watching the moon rise in the sky. The night air was filled with the chirping of crickets and the gentle hoot of owls. The moon glowed brighter than ever, casting silver beams over the trees. Max, Whiskers purred, her bright green eyes wide. Do you see how bright the moon is tonight? Max yawned and stretched. Yes, it looks like magic. Just then, a tiny voice called from the bushes. It was Hazel the squirrel, her fluffy tail twitching with excitement. Max! Whiskers! You're invited to the enchanted moonlight ball. Moonlight ball? Max asked, his ears perking up. Yes, Hazel squeaked. "All the forest animals are going. It only happens when the moon is full and bright like tonight." "You must come." Whiskers leaped up, her eyes sparkling. "Oh, Max, we have to go." Max smiled gently. "Of course, Whiskers. Let's go see what a moonlight ball looks like." Hazel led them through winding forest paths until they reached a magical clearing bathed in silver light. The clearing was decorated with sparkling spider webs that shimmered like crystal lace. Fireflies twinkled like floating stars, and soft music drifted through the air, played by a band of crickets and frogs. Animals from all over the forest gathered, dressed in beautiful natural decorations, crowns of flowers, cloaks of leaves, and sparkling dewdrops. As Max and Whiskers stepped into the clearing, they were greeted warmly. "Welcome to the Moonlight Ball," called Professor Hootsworth, the wise old owl, swooping down from a tree branch. His feathers glistened like silver in the moonlight. "You look lovely tonight, Whiskers," Hootsworth said kindly. "And Max, always the gentleman." "Thank you, Professor," Max said shyly. Whiskers twirled playfully, pretending to dance. "What do we do at the Moonlight Ball?" "Oh, many things," Hootsworth explained. "There are games, music, and even a dance under the moon. But most importantly, there's a secret wish ceremony." "A wish ceremony?" Max asked, his tail wagging slightly. "Yes," Hootsworth nodded. "At midnight, everyone gathers to whisper a wish to the moon, and sometimes the moon grants them." Whiskers purred with excitement. "We must stay until midnight," Max chuckled. "Of course." As they explored, they saw Millie the mouse organizing a cheese-tasting table, Finn the fox teaching others how to dance, and even the family of ducks gliding gracefully through a little moonlit pond. Hazel scampered up a tree and returned with tiny flower crowns. "Here, you need to dress up too." She gently placed a crown of white flowers on Whiskers' head and a leafy garland on Max. "You both look ready for the ball now," Hazel said, clapping her paws. The music grew livelier as crickets played their tiny violins, and frogs croaked in rhythm. Animals gathered in a big circle, and Finn called out, "Time for a moonlight dance." Max watched as Whiskers spun and leaped, her black fur gleaming in the silver light. He wagged his tail happily and joined in, moving with surprising grace for such a big dog. Suddenly, the music slowed, and all the animals turned to see a mysterious figure step into the clearing. It was a graceful white deer, her fur glowing softly like moonlight, and her antlers glittering with silver stars. "It's Luna, the guardian of the Moonlight Ball," Hootsworth whispered reverently. Luna the deer stepped to the center of the clearing and spoke in a soft musical voice. "Welcome, friends, to the enchanted Moonlight Ball. Tonight, under the light of the full moon, we celebrate friendship, kindness, and dreams." The animals listened quietly, enchanted. Luna continued, "At midnight, we will gather for the wish ceremony. Until then, let joy and laughter fill this night." With a graceful nod, Luna stepped aside, and the music began again. Whiskers darted off to dance with Hazel and Millie, while Max enjoyed a game of gentle tug with Finn and the ducks. As the night wore on, soft lanterns made from glowing mushrooms lit up the clearing, and stories were told around a little fire made of glowing stones that warmed the animals without smoke or flame. Whiskers snuggled close to Max. "This is the best night ever, Max." Max smiled and licked her ear. "It really is." Then, as midnight approached, Luna called everyone together. "Now, dear friends, it is time to whisper your wishes to the moon." All the animals gathered in a great circle, and Luna raised her head to the sky. "Think of a wish from your heart, and when you are ready, whisper it softly." The clearing grew silent. Max closed his eyes and wished. "I wish for Whiskers and I to always have wonderful adventures and never be apart." Whiskers whispered, "I wish for Max to always be happy and safe." One by one, soft whispers filled the night, rising gently to the moon above. Then Luna raised her hoof, and from her antlers, tiny lights like stars floated into the sky, carrying their wishes. As they watched the lights rise higher, a soft silver glow spread over the clearing. The moon beamed down, and in that moment, Max and Whiskers felt as though their wishes had been heard. The ball continued for a little while longer, with soft music and gentle laughter. But soon, one by one, the animals began to curl up and rest. their dreams filled with moonlight and magic. Max found a soft spot under a tree, and Whiskers curled up beside him. Hazel snuggled into Max's warm fur, and Millie tucked herself in nearby. Even Finn dozed close by, his fluffy tail wrapped around him. Luna stood watch as the moon began to set, her silver eyes watching over them all. Before Max drifted off to sleep, he whispered to Whiskers, "I think the moon heard our wishes." Whiskers purred, "I think so too, Max." As the first light of dawn touched the sky, the enchanted moonlight ball came to a peaceful close. The friends would always remember the magic of that night, and the feeling that anything was possible under the light of the moon. And as they dreamed, the moon whispered back, "Your wishes are safe with me." The end. And now it's time for our second shout out from Grandpop, tester and evaluator at Wise Story Owl, to our friends Alette, Tallulah, Carly, Ellie, Bo or Bobo, Zoe, and of course, Uncle Nono.